And let's go. Let's see if we are live. I really need to work on setup. Hello, hello. Well, hopefully we're live. And I think we're good to go. Let me grab some water first. Oh yeah. Music is playing, audio is working. Yeah, everything is good. Everything is very good. Let's put this to the side. Let's give a couple of minutes for people to join, and then we can get going. But today we're gonna start actually not with the JiHu continuation. I need to fix one of my toys. It's not a toy, but it's one of my favorite figures, not Gunpla related, and it fell yesterday. So today's stream I'm gonna start with actually fixing that little thing, and then we're gonna move on to the motornuclear JiHu. I honestly haven't built any of it since last stream because I spent this week modifying it with a bunch of LEDs. Hell yeah, dude. Dungeon Soup is my favorite, like, unique production on YouTube. They actually dropped a new episode today. It's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. I have a bunch of their merch. I just ordered a bunch more from the second season. And I've had this U2 since it came out, and unfortunately the Medusa head that it uses to support like its left foot, so it's very kind of wobbly. Yeah, dude, that was one of my favorite episodes. So the back of the figure is actually quite heavy, and it's only supported by this soft vinyl thing. So it fell off my desk and it broke its leg. It's nothing too bad, but basically what I want to do is I want to use this spare action base stand from my 160 Barbatos build. And I want to create an action base out of it. Well, a stand. I'm going to glue this guy to the stand. First we're going to fix its leg, and then we're going to glue him straight to the stand, and he will look like this. Hopefully they'll make more U2s or other figures. Dude, 3D printer, painting booth, I have a lot of those on my wish list, and I'm gonna be honest with you, until I buy a house or move into a much larger apartment, that's gonna be on a, you know, wish list. Yeah, the challenge in, so I live in Toronto, Canada. The real estate is extremely expensive here. So the challenge is space. Space is definitely something that prevents me currently from, you know, getting an airbrush set up and doing a bunch of stuff. But hey, we make do. We make do. Still can build a bunch of stuff. And also I need to fix the neck off of this action base. So I think we're gonna start with the neck because it's much simpler to fix. It's the action base that comes with the 160, what's his name? Logar? Barbatos 160? It has like the main action base for the kit itself, which is pretty good. But the action base for the, what's its name? Stinger? You know, the accessory at the back of it. It's actually quite shit. Like, this is it. It's just a bunch of like plastic tubes. They're connected by screws. They loosen up very easily, and if you try to over tighten them, you'll break the plastic. And the worst part of it is even when you try to use the grab hand at the end, it is on such a flimsy plastic attachment, like 0.5 millimeter connection, that it just snaps off from the weight of the stinger itself, so not good. But it's easy to fix because basically all you need is a little pin vise, a little metal rod, and we're done. I start with one, now I have 4 that run non-stop. Damn, you have like your own factory. I have a couple of buddies that are into 3D printing as well. They keep offering me to 3D print for me when I need something. And also in Toronto, they have creator spaces where you can just go and you know, have them 3D print for you. But yeah, so far, I mean, like, I can fix. I mean, this should be an easy fix, right? This should be a fairly easy fix. The ball bearing can be glued. I think the next tool I need to buy is hot glue gun, because that'll be useful. At the moment, I just straight up glue stuff. Need to drill the peg out or drill into it. Either option is fine by me. There we go. Drill a little bit into. Just stand off. I think I'm going to use a little bit of blow tie just to hold the part in place. I have a little plastic container with a bunch of metal rods. Oh, need to change my chair. Squeaky one. Hold on a minute. Here we go. I think I even have some spares from last projects. Maybe I don't even need to cut the rod. Let's see. Almost perfect length. Maybe a little too long. Let's shorten it just a little bit. What do you print on your 3D printers? Do you like sell stuff on Etsy or something like that, or just personal projects? There we go. Now I either can try to reuse this thing with a hole in it. Let's see. With the original plastic bag, I can sort of partially butcher it. Oh, dude, that's awesome. Halo battle rifle. When I was at Anime North, was it 2 weeks ago at this stage, there were so many cool outfits with the 3D printed rifles and armor from Helldivers game. Ooh, dude. I didn't get close to any of those fellas, but really good quality work on some of those outfits. So if you're into cosplay, you might want to attend one of those expos. Maybe a little shorter. Nice, dude. EVA foam probably is a bit lighter, right? It's going to be Master Chief. Is he doing classical Halo armor or one of those like newer from Halo Infinite? Because they had a bunch of variations in Halo Infinite. Okay, so that is it. We now need to just simply glue it in place. And then eventually ODST, some flexibility. Makes sense, yeah, makes perfect sense, dude. ODST, good, that's the right choice. Okay, let's take this out of here. Drill bits anymore. So for this, I think I'm just gonna glue it in place there. I don't think I'm gonna glue it at this side. Maybe on this side, glue tack. On here, it's gonna be glue. So that we don't glue together articulation point, just in case. Then we're gonna fix Barbarian real quick, and then we're gonna go back to building JiHu. Oh, you're printing pots. Interesting. I didn't know people did that, but like, makes perfect sense though. Like plant pots, dude. I saw like a year ago something like that. Maybe it was even longer on Reddit, Gunpla Reddit. There was a dude shared a bunch of 3D printer files for custom Gundam action bases. Basically, the prints he designed were like when you have your action bases for Gunpla, like Action Base 5 or 6, they have plates similar to this at the base, and he designed add-ons to put under them of like different standardized heights, and you can use those as storage, and they like seamlessly integrate into the bottom of the action base, like a standard Bandai action base. Such a great idea. I remember that post got a lot of upvotes, and a lot of people are like doing that. So I think that gentleman simply released the files for that. Like, perfect idea, perfect. Yeah, man, like, I mean, I don't know why Bandai wouldn't do that. And also it's not only for storage, but when you pose a bunch of kits next to each other, like instead of them being on equal plane, you can actually, you know, differ the heights through those custom printed add-ons, and that makes the display even nicer. I don't remember what was there. Yeah, elevation change. It's a huge thing, especially when you try to cram a bunch of kits in a smaller space. If I could, or maybe I could, if I really wanted, I could just find that old post and go to a creator space and print a bunch of those. Because I have a lot of kits, but a lot of them are not on standard action bases. But I have like a collection of like 40 action bases in my little storage unit, so I could replace action bases with the more standard ones and use those adapters to both improve my storage solution and display a bunch of kits in one place, like crammed together. We'll see. But yeah, man, as soon as I get the room or the opportunity to get the room, like more space for this, first thing I'm gonna do is get a painting booth with like a waterfall thingy. I even had a couple of companies reach out, offer that, but I just simply don't have anywhere to put them yet. And then Gallery was offering to send me their paints for testing and airbrushes. As soon as I can, I'll definitely get into more advanced stuff. Building places to put hands weapons. I agree with you, maybe. So I agree in terms of third parties having better action bases. Like, that is without a doubt. I think the newer action bases from Bandai, was it Action Base 8, the one that comes with Akatsuki Gundam and with the accessory set for... I'm having a brain fart, my apologies. So the new Real Grade 78-2, it has a weapon set, premium Bandai weapon set, and it also comes with a new action base included. So those are pretty good, but those are very small, like very, very basic ones. But they are done neatly, like nice design. The older action bases like 5 and 6 are honestly pain in the ass to work with. They're so flimsy. Lots of problems with them, but still adaptable. So you can actually customize the hell out of them if you want. I really like the action base on motornuclear. I think they do good action bases. I like action base on the Wolf Technology. I'm just looking at it right now. Wolf Technology action base is really good because they have this articulated neck, which just makes posing so fun. And I think in-ear action bases are good because they're simple, but they're very sturdy and they're really well designed. I don't like Sky Defender's action base as much because it wastes an enormous amount of space, even though the top of it looks really good. But it doesn't have any like drawers that open on the sides, and the only way you can attach accessories to the action base is by flipping it upside down and attaching them to the slots, which is stupid, because if I have a kit on it, how the hell am I supposed to use it? Like, I found that to be actually just maybe the only problem with the Sky Defender. So if they instead lower the action base in Sky Defender by that amount of depth that is used for storage at the back, at the bottom, or instead made it like drawers that open up, that would have been phenomenal. That would have been like 10 out of 10 action base. I want to buy more and stuff like that. But as it stands, it's just, in my opinion, it's not perfect. Sunday hobby. Yeah, drawers will be like, it's just, to me, it's a wasted space at the moment, even though you could potentially use that space. In order to use it, you have to flip it up, flip it over. And that makes it very hard to use if you have a kit on it. Let me Google, because I just mentioned, Sunday hobby. Oh, that's the one that's like super duper popular at the moment. Is it the one I decided not to build? No, that's something else. Oh, that action base looks interesting. It's like a flower. Is that the action base? Like a big doll? It's a pretty cool kit, man. I didn't see that. Kind of dig the design. Very 5-star stories inspired design. Oh, so the action base is like this circular yin-yang thing. The pedals open up. Dude, if I had this kit, I would have modified the hell out of that action base to give it some like insane LED effects. Especially with the recent LED strips I acquired, like super small LED strips. Ooh. Yeah, that looks really cool. Really cool kit. I don't have it. I did not see it when it was in POs. But yeah, it's a really cool design. It reminds me of Howling Star. Okay, I don't remember. Nebula, I think. It's really fun. Building the base is like a big lotus flower. Yep. I can store the weapon inside. That's pretty cool, man. Clear is UV. Oh, all right. So technically, I could actually even put UV LEDs at the bottom, and that would make it all super duper fancy. Well, anyway, we'll work on something else in the future. I'm glad that you enjoyed the build of it. It also looks a bit similar to, I mean similar, just reminiscent of, what is it, Ling Yao? The new model kit? Ling Yao, yeah, Ling Yao. Yeah, burning steel. Like some common things in the design, not like entirely similar. Maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm confusing it with some other kit. Okay, this needs to dry. And this is pretty much done. Actually, this can leave the desk for now because it's just going to occupy space. Like, just moving this thing around, the screws just keep falling out. Such a bad action base. That screwdriver is a bit too big. Let's get a smaller one. Like that, just make sure nothing runs away when it's on a cord. Okay, that's it. Now let's quickly fix Mr. Barbarian. Squint of lemon. I need my blue tack to indicate where I'm gonna fix it. Oh no, a little bit of damage in the head. That here. This. Are you working any model kits at the moment? Anything interesting in the backlog? Or on a hobby desk? And one more just for so probably somewhere there in the middle, somewhere here. Let's make a mark. Oh, that is a phenomenal build, my amigo. Are you doing any top coating to it, perchance? Straight build? What decals are you using? There, I'm gonna put glue there. I believe I did my Exia last year, this time, around this time. Maybe it was a year before. Such a great build, man. Such a great build. Exia is a beauty, and the LED kit for it by Cosmos is just a chef's kiss. It's one of the newer LEDs with like a big remote and a newer control box. So it separates LEDs in 3 groups, I believe. And the GN drive is a separate group, so you can like program, change colors, frequencies on all 4 groups, or you can like group them up together and do it all in one shot. And they are so freaking bright, especially on the GN drives in the joints, like the legs and stuff like that, because basically Bandai has transparent plastic that's not frosted, and Cosmos did not add any diffusion to their LED, and they're quite massive LEDs in those joints. So what I recommend doing is taking the original stickers from Bandai for those joints and sticking them on the back side of the transparent parts, because it adds a diffusion layer to the LED, and if you look at it straight, it doesn't like shine in your eyes like a little hack. Or whatever other diffusion material you prefer. It just makes it look a bit richer. And are you doing a Exia repair kit, repair mod, or just Exia? Whatever, the expansion set for it, like Exia repair something. Okay, let's not mess this up like that. Okay, Gorilla Glue, don't let me down. Just started, had to get a grip and line for it, probably top coat, and I'm using DSPIAE. Nice. Hey, that's fine. I also wanted to do a repair kit, but they're hard to come by and very expensive when you do. But if you do in the future, like I don't have one either, but if you do in the future, the Cosmos LED set has alternative lights for the head unit for the repair. So you can always jump back and forth. But yeah, I did, when I did, oh yeah, and another minor warning for Exia. Once you wire the LEDs, even though Cosmos LEDs usually have pretty good soldering, especially on Exia, they kind of try to do thicker wires and better soldering joints. On the legs, on the bicep, the way the wires are just made, if you try to articulate her too much, it will easily tear the LEDs in the shoulders and the elbows. Like, I had to repair a couple of wires in my build because I assumed, since it's a direct replica of Bandai's LEDs, you know, they would be a bit more robust, or at least I thought it was like thought through to be posable. But no, I tried posing her and I ripped a couple of wires, even though I'm usually super duper careful with that stuff. Had to repair that, and eventually for my video I actually stuck with 1 or 2 poses, which I got some flack for. But hey, it is what it is. Yeah, flat top coat looks really good on her. I don't remember what decals I used. I think I just had some no-name AliExpress decals for my Exia build, because DSPIAE were, at least at that time, were not super duper easy to come by in Canada. So I used some decals, but I top coated all of her, both white and color plastic, and she looks like $1,000,000. Okay, let's get to work. I think also Exia, my Exia build was first time I encountered bad weather. So I need to just use the mouse here so my computer doesn't go to sleep. When I was top coating the shields for Exia, rain came down in Toronto all of a sudden and messed up top coat. It was very stressful, but with a lot of patience, a lot of swearing, and a lot of thinner, I was able to clean that up and redo it. Learned a valuable lesson not to gamble with the weather when you top coat outside. There's a slightest chance of rain. Just don't do it. Yeah, I think I have, obviously I have all of that in my video. If you're interested, check it out. It was still before I got a camera even, I think. It was all shot on my phone. So it's the old school style for me. But still thoroughly documented, I believe. Oh, you have never done top coating yet? Yeah, I would recommend just, you know, practicing a little bit and something else. High grade, or what I do sometimes for, like, even if I know that I'm going to top coat a kit, once I've assembled the kit, I take either a spare part, or I just simply cut up the runners because they use the same plastic. And I do tests with the top coats, different variations of top coats on the runner parts or spare parts, and then determine, you know, whether I did a good job, what I want to do, stuff like that. Okay, there's supposed to be a light green runner somewhere, and I do not know where the hell it is. Light green. Oh, there it is. You bastard. So it depends on what top coats you use. I tend to use Mr. Premium cans. Those are, however, hard to come by in Canada because of the regulations. They apparently do not comply with some Canadian laws. But if you have airbrush set up, there's a lot more choice for top coats. Runner K, runner X. This is runner X. Oh, hands, okay. And 2 joints. What up, Gundam Nut? Welcome to the stream. My day is going pretty good. What about yours? 2, 3, 4. I was, what's the right word? Slobbering, salivating, I guess, over the promo video that Animaster and Infinite Dimension dropped yesterday for Skyblaze 172 scale kit. It looks so cool, like Sky Defender 2.0. I cannot wait to get my grabby hands on that beauty. Yeah, so if you're going to be using rattle cans, I can personally only recommend Mr. Premium top coat. This is the only top coat that I have experience with. But I have quite a bit of experience with it by now, and they have not let me down a single time. So they come in boxes like this if you buy 6 of them. They look like that. Rather small fellas. You need a few per kit, especially if you top coat part by part. You know, they run out pretty quickly, but they do really good quality finish. So I have a few boxes like that in my storage, because you cannot buy new ones at the moment in Canada. Apparently they are hazardous. Had to work OT, make that money. Where are my meters? What the hell did this screen go into like? Saving all. Can't think the mouse is useless because it still wants to go to sleep. Okay, I think this is just hands, so might as well cut out all of them. Damn. I've only spent money today. That's it. That's all. But I might have spent money in a wise way for once. I might have just... Technically, I haven't spent money. I will spend money. But I might have now a first party Katabukia and Bandai sponsor. We'll see. And with their help, I might be able to build something truly special by the end of this year to celebrate the occasion. Okay, what do we need from that? Desk is a bit crowded, I don't like this. Here's hoping. Hell yeah, man. Well, I think it's locked down, I just don't wanna, you know, preemptively announce anything. Probably will keep it until I drop a collaboration video with them, with their support. But yeah, quite happy about that. With Gundam being super duper good for third-party kits and supporting me since, sheesh, I think even before I had 500 subs. Now having probably backup for, well, backup, but just, you know, support for first-party kits. I'm quite happy. Let's see, what other key parts do we need for this? K5. That's it. Only 2 key parts. Okay, 15. All right. Well. Okay. Pick the red black version of Oberon. Oh, nice. I saw lots of builds of it and they looked pretty good. I saw some mixed feedback with regards to the building experience, but if you already done one of them, then you obviously know what to watch out for, and it was not, excuse me, it was not so bad that it deterred you from it. I have the original one in my backlog, and I know I mentioned it multiple times already, but I do have a plan for it. I've sourced one of the old OG Cosmos LED sets that is for Endless Waltz Master Grade Wing Gundam, and it's like one of the old Cosmos sets, because it's not like they do now where all the LEDs are, you know, they have certain locations where you need to put them and there's sort of think about how to affix them. Those original, at least that original LED set from Cosmos is like, here's a control box, here's 20 LEDs of different lengths, here is where we think you should put them, here's a bunch of rubber bands, good luck. So it's like, it's made for a kit, but really you can use it anywhere. So my plan for Oberon is to build that bad boy, top coat the hell out of it, detail the hell out of it, and customize it, and then wire it with that custom Cosmos set. Because even though I could wire my own custom LEDs, what I cannot do, at least yet, is wire my own custom control boxes. So And the big advantage of that Cosmos LED set is that it has a control box for all of those LEDs. So you can like do effects and stuff like that. This has to be shoulder, right? Maybe not. Huh. Should be J7. I don't see J7. Maybe it's not for the shoulders. It's weird. Like, it looks like it's for the shoulders. Oh, whatever. Bar H. Some red parts. Well, I'm sorry that you couldn't find them, my amigo. I mean, if not for the, you know, political situation, whatever, I posted on my community post that the place that I sometimes buy from has them at a really good price, got them extra, but they only ship to Canada at the moment. Totally understandable. Shipping commercially to, I was selling some of my, hold on a second, I was selling some of my hot toys on eBay, and obviously when you do that sale through eBay, a couple of people from US bought them. So as an example, they would buy a figure, let's say for 400 US, and they would be hit with about not $100 import fees and tariffs and taxes, and that's on top of shipping and taxes that they pay through eBay anyway. So they would, you know, pay $100 for the figure itself, plus sales tax, plus shipping fees, plus tariffs and import fees and duties, which you always have, I believe, duties, but usually de minimis would be there, which would sort of safeguard you from that problem if you're buying something below $800. But now not only do you not have de minimis, you also have a much higher tax due to tariff. D, I haven't gotten to D yet. So yeah, lots of local stores, I believe, well, local Canadian stores stopped shipping to the US at the moment. Simply because they cannot afford to competitively price, I think. Though I believe companies like, you know, eBay, FedEx, UPS, and other shippers, they make a fortune on those fees, brokerage fees. And it's not hobby related, just a ramble. Hey Del, welcome to the stream. Wrapping up Fenrir. What do you think about Fenrir? You liking it so far? Has your opinion changed of it? What's good, what's bad? E78. Oh, shit. That's it. 99% of the kit is great. All right. What's the 1%? Any hints? I wonder. Trying to recall what I did not like about it. There were some gates, some minor stuff, but I don't remember anything major. I hate the articulated hands, and the side connection for the smaller sword kind of sucks. Articulated hands. Okay. Yeah, 172 can be a bit finicky, but I think their overall construction is decent on those. Side sword attachment, I'm gonna have to... Oh, you mean on the forearms? The thing that kind of sticks out, like flips out, little shield, that is also a sword? Is that the one you mean? Like right here on the forearms, like that thing, yeah, it does that. Oh. I think I know what you mean. Is that the one on the waist, like side waists? On left side, I believe. Like a scabbard attachment sort of point. I think I had problems with that, like it's finicky. 2019. Yeah, man. Like I believe you mentioned earlier that you're gonna do the Lunavore, the Wolftech, and the Logar. Just a fair warning. The Wolftech hands are horrible. They're just horrible hands. There is no sugarcoat in it. They are bad. They sort of look cool, but even that they kind of fail to look cool because the joints are somewhat weirdly sized. And every finger is jointed. It is such a pain in the ass working with their hands. And those hands use the worst attachment mechanism for the weapons as well, for the accessories. Interlock and peg system, and the pegs are too thick for the slots, and if you thin them, the weapon's gonna fall off. It's bad, just bad. The 160 Logar is actually pretty good. Those hands, one pair of hands is articulated, but they are so large that it's easy to work with them. And the alternative set of hands that are rubber fists, like semi-open fists for accessory holding, because they're made of rubber, they're so easy to work with. Like 160 Logar is low-key GOAT. Okay, let's see one. Yes, no, yes. I think we should hold down to the ultimate challenge. Ooh. A very wholesome sword. Articulated hands like that. I struggle touching them with my big ass fingers. Well, all have our own challenges. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Okay, it's all these guys. Yeah, so like if those 172, they're actually well constructed in thin rear. Obviously larger scale, so they are not too bad to work with. The Wolftech, there is just no salvation, no excuse. They're very hard to work with, they are articulated, they don't work in the first place at all. It's just an exercise in frustration. But even that is something you can sort of choose to tolerate if you like the kit. The floppy maze problem is something that you just cannot fix. It's a noodle. Having a floppy maze on Barbados, that's inexcusable. I haven't even posed on my shelves, specifically reminding me of that floppy noodle thing as like a motivational thing. Don't be a floppy noodle. Don't be like Wolfdeck. Gotta get out a little bit on the JiHu next, but the other kind of being so stoned down. Oh, come on, man. Super stoned images, this now like it, no. And JiHu is in ship. The way is the worst. Well, hopefully I can entertain you with my build of JiHu in the meantime. I know it's not something you can touch, but I mean, it's a interesting fella. I'll make sure to plug him in. Let's see. I'll put my supply in low power mode. Let's maybe make it so you guys can actually see it. That's pointing at the camera. Can you actually see the LEDs? No, it needs to be like that. Well, there you go. He's smiling at you. Very strong Pacific Rim vibes from this guy. Especially with the LEDs, if you like take some photos of it with the dim lights. He looks like a Jaeger. That's actually one of the things I'm thinking about, is what to name this build, because I obviously tend to come up with, as of late at least, names for my builds. And I have not decided yet what I'm going to name JiHu. And the name is supposed to be, you know, not the original name. It can be a play on the original name, or it can be something, just whatever, based off of vibes. I had some like brainstorming, some brain waves, and excuse me, the ideas are Grunt Jaeger, because he's like a grunty boy. It's like intentionally motornuclear is giving this kid some cheaper looking plastic on the outside so he doesn't look expensive. He looks disposable, almost intentionally. At least that's the vibes I get. And Jaeger from Pacific Rim, so you know, like Grunt Jaeger. Or maybe something else along those lines. Need to ponder. B4, 8. One thing motornuclear does really good is their black plastic. They nail down like the surface texture on that to give it matte finish. They are really good at that. So that with the Lubu and here, clearly on a cheaper kit, it's still really good plastic. B4, 3, this fella. Oh, Doofy? Officer Doofy, if you know where it's from. Given a combination of Gypsy Danger and Master Chief vibes. Yep. Doomslayer. Yep. Yeah. Yep. But what would be like the catchy name for it, you know, like to... It needs to come. The name usually comes randomly. Just pops in your head. You're like, ooh, that's it. Turn on my fan because I'm starting to sweat bullets. Hold on, fellas. There we go. What's the cut look like between the plastic on the back? What? What do you mean? I'm not sure I'm catching you there. Oh yeah, FYI on the modern nuclear your nipper cut. This is just a really basic Tamiya cutter. I really like it. They don't make it anymore, unfortunately, so I don't recommend it. It's one of the old school Tamiya nippers. Technically, they still make a nipper with the same model, but it's no longer double-bladed. It's single-bladed. I've been using this particular model since I started in the hobby, and I have 3 of them in my storage because I can no longer buy them. But it's 74001 model from Tamiya. It's side colorful plastic, and they are double-bladed, and the blades are curved. Like, they have a soft curve. So basically, what it helps me do is that I don't need to be super duper careful poking around the runners. I tried using Got Hands and PN 120 for off-the-runner cuts, like on thicker gates, stuff like that. And because they have sharp edges and they have blunt edges, I kept damaging my parts. Because when I cut them off, I don't pay much attention when I initially do the runner cut off the runner. I need something that's like foolproof, safe to use for the initial cuts. So the original set served me for like 3 years, and unfortunately their spring broke a month ago. And I tried repairing the spring, but the spring is actually like welded on one side, so I couldn't replace it with a generic spring. So I had to pull out the second pair. Now I only have one in storage. One day we'll have to find something else. I don't know if that was your question, but that's all I have. One thing about the modern Nuclear JiHu though, and it's also, you'll see it in a guide. I think I sort of mentioned it last week, but I didn't really highlight it. In a few steps, when you build JiHu, it tells you, put LED module there. And I think it's one in the head unit, yeah, for sure. It's, I believe, 2 in the torso. Yeah, so 1 in the cockpit and another one, yeah, here's the cockpit one. And 1 in the front, yeah, so 3 at least in these parts. They don't include them, and they don't indicate, at least I haven't noticed, where they indicate in the manual what sort of LED units you need, where to find them. Not that I did a bunch of research, I'm not gonna lie to you. But it's a bit lazy on Modern Nuclear's part not to include those LED modules. I know I always complain about, you know, kits coming with battery-powered LED modules, but coming with no LED modules at all, I don't know if that's better. Like, to me, it doesn't really matter because I would wire my own LEDs, and I appreciate them creating room for LEDs. It's actually so much room that I had to find space fillers for my LEDs. It's just odd when you're going to be building this kit, the guide will tell you slot an LED module there, and you can clearly see space designated for something. But that something does not come in the box with the kit. Unless there's like a separate version of this kit that I did not buy. But yeah, LED modules not included. Using a hot knife to cut off the runners. Damn, that sounds dangerous. Dangerous for me. I'm clumsy as hell. And I touch my nippers a lot to prevent parts from flying away. Kudos to you, amigo, if you have that much control. My control extends only to my fingers when I play guitar, but controlling my entire hands is not as, I'm not as good at it. All right, last runner. Hot knife sounds like the recipe for disaster for me. But I would imagine if you're good at it, you're handy with it, it's probably super duper fast. A1, 24, 22. That would be right. 22 placements. But yeah, if you're using SPM 120s, unless you... In my video for the LTN review, I did sort of highlight that SPM 120s are still very, very, very good, and they give you results very close to LTN 120s. The only difference... So actually this topic is a bit more complicated than I originally thought, because I had a chance to speak with a few... Okay, let's take a step back. When I was at the Anime North Expo a couple of weeks ago, I had a chance to speak with a God Hand representative and like do a little bit of a hands-on with all of their nippers. And they showed me there are actually different techniques on how to use the nippers. And I would imagine professional builders already made videos on that. I was blissfully unaware of all of that stuff. But that gentleman showed me that... Let me show you. A little show and tell, I guess. I'm not an expert. I'm just doing whatever I think I can. So he was showing me on some Gunpla parts that are not undergated like old school parts. So I'm gonna zoom in and I'm gonna show you what they showed me. I hope the camera focuses on that. So to take apart, there is a gate right there. But you want to cut off. You want to cut off this gate here. So the way I would usually cut it is I would grab my nipper, I would put it flat to the part, and I would cut like this. And boom, it's cut. There is a little bit of plastic left off though. So what I would do then is I grab my hobby knife. Let's make sure we're still in focus. I need to look at the camera when I do this rather than at my own hands, which can be dangerous. So then I use my hobby knife to level off the remaining plastic. What that gentleman explained me on the expo is that if we take another part just like this, so that's another part, same gate, same part, just another copy of it. They take their nipper, they do it parallel to the gate, they hold it like this, and they make sure that the cutting blade is facing you, right? So the cutting blade is facing you, and the cutting blade needs to go that way, right? And that's the outer face of the part. The reason they do it that way is because the cutting blade has different angle than the dull blade. And if you do it like this, it actually bites into the runner and creates a tiny, tiny cavity in the runner, but you don't, like, there's nothing to clean up now with a knife. Like, there's just nothing you can clean up. Like, my knife will not bite on anything because there should be nothing to bite, right? If you do it right. And he was like pretty aggressive with that. He was like grabbing that nipper and like freaking biting into the part, and it was creating like proper grooves in the plastic. I don't do this because he says you do that when you paint your kits. Because there is no way to fix the cavity without filling it in or on sanding off the entire part and then covering it all with paint. So I intentionally don't do it that way. But basically the way he explained it to me is that if you do it the way he showed it like parallel to the part and parallel to the gate, you're not going to benefit from lightning nippers. They will not give you better results. If you just properly use SPN 120s, the good old God hands that everybody's using, you're going to get the best results already. Where LTN 120s help, to me, because I guess of improper technique, intentionally or unintentionally, but that's the technique I use and will continue to use. So I cut like this. I cut perpendicular to the part, and I always have a little bit of plastic left over intentionally. So my cuts do not eat into the part. Let me zoom back in. My cuts do not eat into the part itself. They always leave just a little bit of plastic. But the amount of plastic that is left by LTN versus SPN is slightly different. So instead of doing like 2 or 3 cuts with a knife, I only need to do like 1. So I only do like 1 cut. Here, like I'm just rubbing the knife over it. It's really nothing to cut at the moment, unless I angle it and bite into the part. But it gives me perfect finish. Like literally the finish I get can only be improved by a lot of sanding. You cannot really get a better finish than this, at least in my opinion. It's good enough for the current skill level that I have, and I like the way it looks on a camera. So that's what I do. That's how I sort of justify LTN 120s. And if you happen to be in Canada or have access to them at MSRP, they're, you know, they might benefit you if you use the same technique as I do. But if you use a proper technique according to God hand, SPN 120s will be your one-stop shop. Probably will be enough forever. I coincidentally have 3 SPN 120s because I broke one pair, then I bent it back in shape, but it sort of messed it up, so I used them as my dirty nippers. Then I have a limited edition Evangelion nippers. Why I have them, I have no idea. I just saw them in the store and they looked really cool. Like, I have to have it. But Evangelion nippers, they're supposed to be exactly like the SPN 120s except with different handles. But somehow they either messed up the design of those or the batch. They are so tough. I mean, like, they don't, the action is not smooth. And I lubricated them a bunch with like WD-40 and oil, nipper oil, like from Steady. Nope, they just like really tough. But the blades are the same. Well, my nails are long, not for Gundam, it's for guitar, and I like actually have to carefully watch out to not use my nails on Gunpla because it messes up my nails. They become wavy and they flake off. But my favorite hobby, outside of this of course, is playing classical guitar, which I've been doing for years. And if you play certain styles of classical guitar and certain types of music, you have to have nails. Just no way around that. So yeah, I do have nails. They change shape from time to time. I consciously try to avoid not to use nails during this hobby because it messes them up. But if you have nails, or if you don't mind having nails, and you want to make your cuts look even cleaner and cooler, which I guess is something you already do, I just do it with a plastic spodger. When you have a gate on a colored plastic, it always has a little bit of a white stress mark. No matter how hard you try, it's always there. You just rub over the part with the plastic spodger, and it kind of stresses out the plastic, it warms it up, and it removes the white stress mark. Calluses, there is no calluses. I've been playing for so long that my skin is just used to it. and I play for like, you know, a couple hours every day, and you don't get calluses on classical guitar. Maybe you get them as a kid when you just start off, but then your skin sort of hardens, it thickens a little bit, and you don't really get calluses, because calluses are generated for the most part by steel strings, like higher 3 strings on like acoustic guitars or electric guitars. On a classical guitar, you have nylon strings on the 3 higher strings, right? So they are much softer on your skin. I'm like super slow today, lots of chatting. Hopefully you guys appreciate that. Like, let me know what you prefer, chatting or building. I'm good with either. I cannot do both as efficiently. Yeah, one day, if about guitar, I mean, one day, if when I decide to show my face on the channel, I will be very glad to share with you guys some of the recordings of me playing. It is super duper duper classical stuff. Like, I'm not a cool guy in that regard, at least, if at all. But yeah, I like, you know, Chopin, Paganini, Targa, Barrios, Beethoven. I love like piano composers, but transposed onto classical guitar and just straight up guitar stuff. It really helps me with keeping me sane. But in terms of listening, I love metal. I absolutely love metal. That's why you can quite often hear metal music on my videos. If I could use, without DMCA concerns, something heavier, you bet every video of mine would have like a bunch of Slipknot, like Slaughter to Prevail, Sepultura. Gojira maybe as well. Schmidt acoustic 5-string, hell yeah. Do you still play? Wait, did I cut out all of the A1 parts? I think I did. A1, 24, 22. Yeah. Why did I not put the runner away? Maybe I didn't. A1, nothing. Alright, cool. That needs to go away. my screen doesn't go to sleep. By the way, Gundam Nut is still there. And Dell, you there? Let me know in the chat if you are. Have you seen the Skyblaze video that dropped yesterday from Animaster and Infinite Dimension? I was drooling over that thing. Right? Looks very cool. I cannot wait to get my grabby hands on it. I checked my Gundam pre-orders and it's my oldest pre-order that's still active. It's been a hot minute. I hope it will be, you know, like Sky Defender 2.0 sort of experience. 172 scale, roughly same maker. Really cool design. Might end up having a really cool trio with Fenrir, Sky Defender, and Skyblaze. Although both of them are gonna dwarf Fenrir. It's a bit of a smaller guy. Hell yeah, Sky Defender 2.0, man. Reading my mind. I like how the action base looks for it. Kind of the dedicated leg stands, very imposing yet subtle. Gotta be a cool build, man. Gotta be a cool build. February 2025. I can check when I pre-ordered mine. Hold on a sec. Let's see. Mine has been on pre-order since April 2024. Really old. December. All right, that's closer. Yeah, I really like the action base in it. Like, even from the early concepts, like the very, very early picture of it was this really like basic stuff. Obviously just gray sort of outlines. And that action base is what made me pause the pre-order, because something like about the vibes of the action base I really resonate with. It doesn't seem like it's a very functional action base. Like, it seems like he's like a statue there. I just don't see how this action base is going to be super functional or adjustable. But that's still good. I don't really care. I hope that this piston is going to be metal. It doesn't seem like action base has a lot of like room for activities. But maybe these can be carved out and can be replaced with custom lights to kind of shine from the bottom at it. Yeah, there's a lot of elements from other Infinite Dimension in era kits in this. It's like a conglomeration of a lot of stuff that we've come across already in an ultimate form. Very, very much my kind of style. Oh, I took a picture of my phone there, but whatever. Very excited, that video looks dope. Hey Taco, I got my dinner. Enjoy your dinner, man. Thank you for jumping by the stream. Music show, platform base for it. Okay, that's another thing I'm not familiar with. Let me Google. X show. Next show, they did Moon Gundam in 1/100. Interesting. Oh, that base. That looks pretty cool. Still need to build the original Moon Gundam. Yeah, that action base is pretty nice, man. It's like octagon at the bottom. Did I have better pictures of the action base? Yeah, it's like octagon. Oh, it's a hexagon. Oh, there's actually a couple of options. There is white one in era-like, and a dark gray one, hexagon. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I didn't even know about this kit. I think I commented on your painted MGS rock. I really liked the theme, especially how you did the weapons. I think they turned out really cool, man. I'm not a painting expert, so I can't really like critique or, you know, comment on painting because I know very little about it. But what stood out to me is the weapons. They just looked like, you know, like you got that from factory. Like really, really well done, man. And I dig the overall theme. I'm very jealous of your collection, man. Loving the looks of the Tron model, Saga, Schwarzritter. Need like an AI assistant that will Google things for me. Every stream I end up Googling so much stuff, and I forget about half of it. I remember some if I screenshot. Let's see. Saga, Tron model, Saga, Schwarzritter. Damn, he looks mean as hell, dude. And that action base is like Halo kind of stuff. Really fancy. He's less mean in person, looking at the reviews. It's pretty cool design. Pretty cool. Yeah, nice stuff, man. really edgy, giving me perhaps, no, I don't know what vibes he's giving me. I thought at first Armored Core, but not really Armored Core. Is like different design aesthetic entirely. Oh, what do you think of that? Sandra, kind of loving the model. Or did you see something about the weapons? It was my first time doing that. Heat effect. You did a really good job on that heat effect. It looks money. I really like the color scheme. Yeah, the color scheme, like black and white on the Tron model is dope, man, for sure. The aesthetic overall seems to be a bit more, not generic, but sort of popular. I've done a kit that is somewhat similar to that, was a Stargazer. I don't remember the name of the brand, but it's on my channel, one of the reviews of it, one of my earliest ones. They've done later other revisions of Stargazer in darker color themes, which sort of looks like this Tron. Then it reminds me of Apocalypse Vientiane, whatever the brand name there. There's been like a wave of kits that were sort of very similar to each other, but slightly different in the last maybe 2 years-ish. It's a bit more diverse again now. There definitely was like a period where we were getting a lot of very similar looking kits. Maybe like growing pains for newer companies, but the quality of most of them was pretty good. Not bits, yep. Look at these things. If you don't have like a vacuum like this fella, highly recommend investing into one. It's pretty good. I like this DSPIAE vacuum. It's been serving me well. If one like downside with the DSPIAE vacuum is it's not like the strongest suction, which is, it doesn't really matter for nut bits, it still picks them up. What's annoying about it is when you charge it, it doesn't work when you charge it. So it doesn't do like pass through whatever thing. So if it runs out of juice, you gotta charge it, you know, for like 20 minutes for it to work for a few minutes. It's a bit annoying. Would have been nice if it worked plugged in, so you can vacuum it up in a pinch. I tried using my little Dyson before, but that thing actually is a bit too powerful. I kept sucking up parts that I actually needed. So yeah, I'm fine for now with the DSPIAE one. If I come across like a portable vacuum that has transparent container and some sort of like slightly stronger but not as strong suction as Dyson vacuums, I'll definitely give it a try. So Hoto had some. Maybe I'll give it a test. We'll see. So tried a bunch of small ones like Hobby Mio and a bunch of generic ones on Amazon, and while they look cool, they are loud as hell. They don't have much capacity. I didn't like them. They create even more mess. They are really loud because the knobs, they're rattling around in there. It's very irritating. Finished building MG Sakazako Verika. Now I'm working on paint scheme for high-grade Yakdoga and cutting knobs and my second overall. Damn, dude, you have like 3 builds going on at the same time. Zako is dope. it's a massive build. I hope to one day tackle it, but at the moment it's not even in my backlog. It's so far away from building that. But I saw a lot of really cool builds of it, like done by other builders. Do you build the Gundam Thunderbolt as well? Or do you plan on? Marble effects in a few areas. Around will be dark evil overhand. Yeah, I know. Oh, nice, man. I believe Anger Presence in chat is considering buying Oberon dark version of it. Oh no, what happened to it? The battery busted? I'm buying a new one. I think AliExpress is going to be running a sale on June 1st. Some sort of big deal sales. I'll check out if you see any like on sale. Or if you find a better vacuum, let me know. Curious to test. Was free, can't complain. No, maybe it's time to upgrade. Maybe it's time to upgrade. I think I even have a link to this fella. Support the channel. I'm joking, of course. I mean, buy it, of course, with caution. Granted, it has a built-in battery, so it has a finite lifespan by default, which is, you know, always not super duper cool. But I don't remember what it cost me. I bought it on AliExpress. Or maybe I bought it at the DSPIAE store. One of the two. It was pretty cheap. It was a bit more expensive than those generic ones. But I think it's been worth it. Just replace the filters like once a year. It's not too loud, the battery lasts a while. And it really helps to have an easy to manage container, because even with DSPIAE vacuum I keep occasionally sucking up the parts I actually need. Sometimes I can even see them in a container. Why did I picture an actual vacuum? Vacuum for crap. Oh my goodness. It's like a little truck. You know, like they have oh my god, what do they call them? I haven't seen one in a very long time, but I've seen them in Europe. It's like a truck with a big cistern at the back, like with a vacuum suction in it, and they use it to like pump out shit. Imagine if you have like a model kit nub cleaner that is in the shape of like small RC truck, and it's like transparent container, and the vacuum mechanism is built in, and there's like a little hose that you use to clean up the nubs, and you can see, you know, all the knobs in the transparent container, and you can like detach it to clean it out, empty it out. That could be cool. I would buy that. Yeah, porta potty truck. Yeah, I think like the newer ones, they're like inconspicuous, but the older ones you could actually like, you know it's the one. Radio controller or whatever, dude. I would buy that for sure, and I would, and if it has like, you know, some cool like theme or stickers on it, like, you know, knob sucker or something like that. Sell. That would sell. I would buy that easy. It needs to be reasonable in size. Like, it needs to be, the whole package needs to be not bigger than this, because even this sometimes is hard to manage. So it needs to be lower profile, right? Like the cistern can be something like this, maybe even smaller. It needs to be well crafted, so it's actually nice to look at. And it needs to have like a hose coming out of the back that you use to sort of like pick it all up. And then maybe like a small RC remote to like drive it away. Dude, I would so buy that. I had the bags for joints. Yeah, I have a friend who built a Thunderbolt, and they were really not happy with that particular part. And I'm looking forward to it when I eventually build that kit. Just talk to your kit. Yep, I did build that and painted it. It did turn out well, so I have been practicing dimension better. Nice. Motor gave out. Oh, that sucks. I would reach out to them and say, hey, warranty. Aren't they supposed to be like brushless motors that live forever? I would definitely complain to them. Most likely. Contrast color variation Thunderbolt. Do you mean Manta? Like the black and orange one? It looks pretty interesting. It's a very specific theme. I would still probably advocate for the original Manta color scheme because it's more nautical. It's supposed to be like, you know, heavily inspired by nautical themes, and I just don't see how orange fits into that. It's a cool aesthetic, but thematically, I don't entirely understand it. Like, I saw that, I even pondered it for a while, but I don't think I would choose it over the original scheme. Now, if they did like a mechanical clear version of the original Thunderbolt Manta, like not just straight up clear mechanical, but something with you know, like extra detail, or maybe like not frosted, but maybe slightly painted or colored plastic. Not like murky. I don't like murky. Transparent plastic looks like shit always. I would consider that. I would consider transparent nautical theme Thunderbolt Manta. It's just, of course, personal opinion, personal preference. I didn't get the black and orange vibe there. Just didn't vibe with me. Where are my open blades? Has to be ready control though. I need to be able to drive it across the desk. Yep, 100%. Sign me up. Kickstarter, I'll back up today. It'd have to be 132. Yeah, let's give it a shot. First is the lawnmower Roomba or the snowplow AC truck. Snowplow. Snowplow maybe might be messy, but I can see how a vacuum lawnmower that can work. Why not? So mecha model kit building is a mainstream hobby now. We need better, more creative accessories. I'm not smart enough to do that myself, but I'm happy to share ideas. So somebody please make it happen. We'll gladly spend money on it. Like, for example, where's that thing? Hold on. I know they can, if they want, or when they want. And by they, I mean, you know, manufacturers. This is a cool accessory, right? Just a charger, but it's by Mosho, or at least it's branded under Mosho, and it's after Lancelot of the Lake. So if you can make a charger, a very simple thing as cool as this, very impractical, like very impractical stuff, but cool stuff. Give us other accessories. Of course, vacuum is a very niche accessory, so probably not big of a market for it. But it's not a logical thinking channel, it's a hobby channel. If we had logic, we probably would not be spending our money on this. Demand array on the kit is absolutely massive. Yep, demand array unit in and of itself is like a separate kit entirely. They could probably sell it separately and people would probably buy. It's priced well. It's a really cool accessory. If they came up with that accessory with a bunch of color schemes, that could be adapted to a lot of different kits. And it's very modular as well, the manta ray unit. I have it in the green goblin pose on the shelf. Trying to figure out how the Bandai White MG extract for them is so expensive. It's like PGU level prices. I believe there is a third-party version that people have shared very good feedback about, so I would consider grabbing that instead. I assume you are in the US, so if you think the Bandai MSRP prices are high, let me tell you a story, amigo. You have no idea how expensive that stuff is here. I mean, it doesn't help you in any way, but it can also be worse. And Bandai stuff can be outrageously priced. Even at MSRP, on the second-hand market. Just bend over. I don't get like a lot of hype about MG Extract Freedom in general. I built the original one last summer, and I used the Cosmos LED set on it, and I top coated it and did a bunch of custom work on the action base. Like I fully customed out the action base with a bunch of halo effects and LEDs. Like I went all out on that one. It was a cool build, I enjoyed it, but the engineering of it was a bit disappointing. At first I was really impressed by the inner frame, gold plastic and stuff like that, but then when you start adding even the original wing set without the DDB effect wings, it already starts to struggle to hold itself upright, gets loose, all sorts of problems. And it's something that I would excuse to, you know, a third party, but to Bandai I expect perfection, nothing short of that. Especially with their engineering, you know they can do amazing work with their engineering. And the gate marks on the MGX on ankles especially were bad. They were just... So I was excited to build it. I really liked how the video turned out. I think I got some really cool shots out of it. But would I go back and recommend it? No, I actually cautioned a couple of friends about that kit, since my opinion on PGU is roughly similar. Although PGU at least looks really cool. Like I have it, obviously I built it half and half of it is not covered by armor in my build of it, and I customized, well, detailed the inner frame quite heavily. And I look at it, you know, at least once a week, kind of sneak a glance at it and inspect it. But posing PGU was really unpleasant because of the weak waist. And the action base on the PGU is also just straight up disappointing. Repurpose unicorn action base. It's just lazy. There's no other way around it. They should have made a dedicated purpose-built designed action base for a staple kit like that. Instead, they just made a shitty adapter for it that holds the pin funnels. It kind of supports them. I built it. It's cool, but stingy. Stingy, stingy, stingy. Let's catch up on the chat. Not the orange mandatory. There was a contest of people who painted their in era thunderbolts. The manufacturer chose the winners, custom color, and made it a new color variation. I thought that was the original. Hold on, let's see. I know the story, and it sounds familiar to the how Manta came out. Right, so there was this in Era 1100 RMD series Thunderbolt Manta Ray, because this is not a design per se by in Era. This comes from a custom build by a super cool builder. Okay, well, can we scroll down to the very end, please? Any day now, any day. You can do it. Come on. Almost there. Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, keep on going. Oh yeah, so here they show the original work done by the designer, like the custom builder. And somewhere there was a cool post by a gentleman who seems to know a lot that shows the photos of that custom build. And basically what Inera did, they took a custom build and they redesigned in Thunderbolt itself off of that. Well, Containment has a lot of comments. It is somewhere there, trust me. But I think, is that what you mean, or you mean something else? Because that's how Manta came to be. Twilight coating. Yeah, well, if you look at the like Midnight MGX limited edition that was, I believe, released in China only, that one goes for thousands of dollars. I believe I saw it for like 4,000 Canadian on eBay recently. But it's like super duper rare kit. It's, you know, unreasonably priced. It's super hard to find. More like a collectible. I mean, kits more that are also rare, a bit pricier, but also more generally available, like, you know, Perfect Red Unicorns, Final Battle, Fenix, Banshee. They're pretty expensive, and premium Bandai, and even their MSRPs are quite high. So like when a friend of mine, or rather like an acquaintance of mine, some time ago was buying Narrative Fenix in the US when the pre-orders were up on P Bandai. They snagged it at MSRP there, of course, and it was a, you know, they were complaining how expensive it was, and well, you know, guys, we discussed it last weekend. Some stores offer it at 3 times the cost before taxes here, which is just daylight robbery. But I wanted Bandai to put out a line art for each model kit so I can plan out paint schemes. Alright. I think they do that for Verka. But yeah, you can try using, you know, just like basic photo editing software. Select objects, cut them out as separate layers, and then fill them with desired colors, and you can create like a mood board from that as well. You know, some Workspace registry. I think I saw that. It's like an older kit from them. I have the original perfect registry. It was my very first model kit build. Not my best work. But it was fun. And definitely sucked me into this hobby. Good. Prices in Australia, Europe is insane. Well, it depends. Depends on the country. I used to live in Europe, and in the UK, and in different European countries as well. It's important to keep in mind that a lot of prices that you see online there or on storefronts already include 21% VAT tax. So you're not gonna, when you check out, you're not gonna have another tax added. It's already accounted for. 21% is high to begin with. A lot of European markets, if they don't use euro, they are smaller markets, and conversion rate kind of kills the price in there as well. But yeah, it depends. Depends on the country, depends on the popularity of the product. Usually if it's popular enough and the country is big enough, and if it uses euro, the prices tend to be a bit more reasonable. But if it's something super duper niche, then yeah, you're gonna get hit. Somewhat the same in Canada. It's Canadian, obviously, we use our own currency, Canadian dollars. It's a smaller market than the US. So, and the Canadian dollar is cheaper than the US dollar, which means that certain things that are, you know, really popular, like, you know, phones, laptops, you can actually buy them cheaper here, arguably through a cell service provider. But for more niche things, Gundam hobby being one of the examples, we don't have dedicated P-band die. I believe, though, there was P-band die in Canada some time ago, but then they shut down. So I guess it's not, you know, big enough market for Bandai to import here directly and sell. So what ends up happening is it's a kind of distributor market here, so very expensive. I don't know what I'm rambling about today, honestly, guys. It's just like whatever goes into my head. 500 for it should be maintained. Yeah, for sure. I mean, technically PGNU can stand, just not well and not straight. I don't know. Like a lot about it disappointed me. Seeing how much it's been sold for these days is just mind-boggling to me. It's really cool engineering because the waist on the PGNU actually uses like interconnected joints, and they are really, really cool. Like, the idea is there, but the legs are way too heavy for the waist. So like it's under-engineered. I don't know if that's the correct term. It's just not capable to sustain that weight. It can still support the legs, like if you put it on an action base and you know, bend the leg however you want, it will hold it upright. And it's sort of something we excuse for the unicorns. Unicorns, you just don't pose them outside of their base, right? But that base is made for unicorns. Had Bandai created a dedicated custom, you know, special base for PGNU, I would have probably not cared about the difficulties of the inner frame to sustain its own, weight. But it really kind of rubs me the wrong way to see a reused design in a monumental kit. This was recently, what was it? All right, yeah, all right, cool. So that's something new then. I'll have to check. I am not familiar with that then. Something new. Is that like a variation on the original Thunderbolt or the Thunderbolt Manta? I'll check the message after the stream, but is it the variation on the Manta Thunderbolt or the original one? I'm curious. Might be something I look into. I would sell painted kits. Oh, you want to be like a commission builder? That's cool. I don't know if it's a sustainable business practice. I know nothing about it. But if it's something you enjoy, the only way to get better is just to keep doing it, man. Keep doing it, share your work, ask for feedback. Be prepared to receive critical feedback. Don't take it personally. People sometimes can also be harsh in how they share feedback, but if you take it in constructively, you keep doing what you're doing. It's kind of all you can hope for. Nobody can guarantee success, really. Like, I never even thought about this, honestly. Like, I don't know who would want to buy something I built. I don't think it's cool enough. I've seen people post their custom builds, like professionally built stuff. It looks phenomenal, it's just bonkers. I can build a kit carefully, I can, customize it to an extent. I can wire a bunch of LEDs into it, but it's about all I can. From what I understand, a lot of times commission builders, you sort of have to take an order, right, from your customer what they want to see. So it might limit your freedom to an extent. But then there are also like designers and in other areas, like car designers and just artists in general who do their own thing, and if they have a following, those followers just want to own a piece of their work. And if anyone ever wants to own a piece of my work, I'm just happy to give it to them for free. Just with the quantum kits, it's how are you gonna ship it? That's a problem. I wonder how those commission builders actually do that. There must be, it's either an in-person arrangement or some sort of elaborate solution to take apart your build and then ship it. But then who's gonna put it together? Oh, interesting. I'll need to do some research. Just for general curiosity. Original Thunderbolt. Original, all right. Okay, I'll definitely look at that. Original Thunderbolt is so cool. I know that the color scheme of that one is a bit polarizing, maybe. Didn't mind it. But, I cannot ignore the fact that the combination of like blue, pinkish, purple, silver, yellow, like it's a bit of a like paint mixer explosion. Definitely. The engineering on that is really good though. Like the inner frame they came up with in the original Thunderbolt is so good. It's like Bandai level quality, super sturdy. really well engineered, holds up over time, really good. It's also very modular, because that the backpack thing, you can transform it into a bunch of different combinations, and the railgun is dope. It was like, I think in Era Thunderbolt was one of those third-party, it was one of my earlier builds. It was one of those when I was like, okay, third-party cooks, and they cook like crazy. That was a general statement, but you know what I mean. We are almost through with the part cleanup. Three more parts, then we can assemble the arms. And last part. Boom. Let's check in on Barbarian real quick to see if the glue has set. First, let's vacuum up the shavings. Let's see, are you stuck in place? Hell yeah, all right. Barbarian is back in action. If you guys have never seen Dungeon Soup on YouTube, I know Anger Presents you have. You are in the know. With others, if you have never seen Dungeon Soup, Barbarian series, I don't know if you live under the rock or something, you have to check it out. It is arguably the best original animated series on YouTube. It is badass, it is funny, it is dark humor, it is all the good things. Highly recommend. And they dropped a new episode today. Oh. Alright, let's assemble the arms. Let's spread out these parts. If you like cartoons, original animation and stuff like that, the first season of Dungeon Soup is phenomenal. There we go. Oh, they even have the veneers, like the thruster parts, are actually plated plastic. And they taken my job from me. That's what I do to my kids. They're gonna do it for me. Motornuclear, how dare you? How dare you do that? B4, that should be black. And it is. I could go there. Yep. It's like a little handle to lift the fella. Does have the same handle at the front. Another creep part. There we go. Yeah, they're pretty painted thruster. Money. This goes right there. Silver parts, leave it. Given some elements of layered inner frame here. It's like the inside of this kit is expensive design and expensive looking, but the outer shell is almost purposefully sort of cheaper looking green plastic. I think it's intentional. Some painting opportunities here on the inside. I think I might panel line this later. gap. Yep, there is. All right. All right. Go. Okay, where does this thing go? I am not entirely sure. Supposedly. Like that. Where does this stick? Do you attach to this? And you look outside, okay? So is that here? Oh, they're not perfectly parallel. That's smart. So it's smaller profile. And I guess it's connected to the wrist, so, or maybe the elbow. Yeah, it's connected to the elbow. Oh, look at this. It's a pretty smart joint, really simple. That creates this movement gimmick to where the back of the elbow slides and sort of exposes the sharp blade slash piston. It's nice, like really simply done, but looks complicated mechanically. 56. I might have skipped those parts. Yep, I have. There should be A162. Yep. There's always a couple of parts that I miss out on. Let's double check if B43 has been cut out. I guess so, because B4 wire is in the trash can. Okay. do you want to put this? Oh, like that. Alright. Makes sense. And keyboard. Hell yeah, man. Did you finish ironing out your new background backdrop? It's looking good now. Still playing with the camera settings, though that's never ending thing. It's one of the fun things. Exploring different camera settings, eh? See what works, what doesn't. Join there. That should go right here. Boom. Oh, crap. And it's a pretty beefy hand. Oh, hold on a minute. There we go. Oh, look at that. That's a cool looking arm. So they have like a piston, aggressive piston joint here. That's a double band elbow. Ooh. Fancy. And I guess there should also be an opening gimmick at the forearm because there is a mechanism in there. Let's get a sponsor. Can make it open. I don't want to break it, but I'm pretty sure it should swing out. Very sturdy. Okay, let's not force it. Just a little bit. It's like a Gatling gun on the outside. It's supposed to pop out, I guess. Just a little bit, not too much. Okay. It's a very subtle gimmick. Ow. Pinched my finger. What aesthetic did you go for in your thin rear filament belt? Anything like specific in terms of color scheme and aesthetic, or keeping it analytical with this one? This is the wrong one. This is the right one. Dude, I like this piston a lot. G3 would be silver. So you have like one gun at the lower forearm, and then when you flick the wrist, another gun opens up. This is reminiscent of the Osiris, because in the Osiris you can flick the wrist, I think, the opposite way, and it pops up the saber holder, which is dope. It's like Spider-Man style. I need to assemble the other shoulder. go. Where's the other part? Why can I not see it? Oh, because it's right in front of me. Let's angle you up, down. Why does it not fit? Supposed to. Oh, okay. Now put this mic on. Like that. Boom. Now let's get the shoulders in. And a couple of stoppers at the top. Where are they? That's one. And the other one. Yo, Condro. Nice to see you, amigo. Welcome to the stream. Doing pretty well. How about yourself? You joined right on time. I was starting to get a bit drowsy. Got very quiet. How are you doing, man? Where is that part? There we go. That's the part I'm looking for. Boom. Now these. That's the one. I mean, they're not supposed to be mirrored, right? but every part except for the forearm would be mirrored. They would be generic. Okie dokie. Boom. Reattach this little Gatling gun. Then we have a little adapter for it, like that. Then we have another one. It's like they don't have inner frame here, but at the same time they make, excuse me, glimpses of inner frame. Oh. I think if Modern Nuclear wanted, they could definitely make an inner frame, like a full inner frame that's not metal or like pre-built. They definitely have the chops for it, in my opinion. Although, if I understand correctly, there's actually a lot of people who don't like plastic inner frames. So I guess it's not a lack of ability, but rather a choice to not do them sometimes. Although I'm a sucker for like plastic inner frames. I think this goes here, and then this goes here. Right on top of it. Yep. I would like to see them though attempt a full inner frame. Just out of curiosity. They definitely, especially in this kit, they show that they can engineer and come up with pretty cool mechanisms for different gimmicks and stuff. Could like do so much more with a fully built out inner frame and plastic. That goes like that. Why do you not want to connect? What's happening? Something is not fitting. Okay. Where did my trusty spotter? Working on kit. What kit you're working on, amigo? Oh, there we go. By the way, I forgot to ask. Do you guys want to see a separate video for the LED mod for JiHu? It's less custom work than what's his name? It's less custom work than the Wolftag. Wolftag actually got modded. For JiHu, it's more like running wires rather than modifying the kit. It's actually much simpler mod. Yeah, but let me know if you're interested in a guide video. It will probably be a short one, just showing how to run the wires safely. So far I haven't considered filming one. And it's been filmed as a time lapse for the entire build, but not like a dedicated video. Although, if you guys would be interested, let me know. Like that. Okay. I don't know what was preventing it from snapping together, but on a second attempt, it just went in. like that. Let's see if the joint works. It does. And this fella, boom, with a flick of a wrist. I will forget to attach something. Yes, this. This is supposed to be like a storage container. Oh yeah, it is for the saber. All right, that's pretty cool. Where is this part? Boom. That's pretty cool. It's got like pretty heavy arms. So this would be, I guess this would be inside of the arm then. No, or outside. No. Inside, yeah, so the saber's on the inside. And we attach it to the handle around there. Like that. Then we have the Gatling gun on the other side. Then we have this cannon. Then we have this elbow. It's a really cool looking design. I really like it. I really like it. Let's put the armor on it and see. Oh, this thing first. Where do you go? You go right here, I believe. Yep. Oh, and this is going to be an attachment for some accessory then. It's pretty cool looking hand. It's like monolithic at first, but then we can open, we can open, how do you open it? I know it does open, but how? Let's try with a part separator. There we go. We can open like a maintenance hatch here, then on the inside we can open a Saber storage compartment. And then if you flick the wrist onto the inside, you open a Gatling gun. Then on the other side, you always have this gun, like a underslung cannon. And then if we bend the elbow, we have this badass looking thing. It's a pretty elaborate forearm construction, like pretty heavy with attachments. And a double banded joint. Look at this. Like you can... Nice stuff, man. Pretty good. So if I close all of this up and attach its shoulder, and shoulder is very skeletonized. Like it's beefy, but it's really not massive. And we have these open hatches. Very mechanical. Oh, that's pretty nice. I like it. Let's assemble the other arm and the wrists, like the hands themselves. So I've got that. Now I need to attach that I did. Now I need to attach this. Might as well attach the Saber right away. Boom. Oh, doesn't fit. Oh, they even did like a little... Just look at this. Just to make sure that this slot closes tightly, they actually made a little snap lock, little peg for this hatch. So even if the joint motion is not perfect, it will tightly lock in. Smart. I like this. Thinking about the details, making sure that it looks as intended and works. Doesn't want to snap tightly. Maybe it does. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's supposed to be a gap. Okay. Plug there and this. Badass. All right, let's see what we got with the hands here. Seems like we have a few choices. There are no articulated hands, which is, I guess, a good sign, as long as we have enough options for pose and otherwise. Regular fists, just 2 parts, nothing special. Then another fist. Yeah, karate chop hands. Pretty nicely molded. Git marks might be visible. Karate chops, semi-open, sort of pre-posed, a dramatic pose. Always like these. Then we should have a couple of sets of grabby hands with extra joints. Okay, let's see. You want the joint to look on the inside. And then like that? No. Not that. Nice. Like a glove. Then we have a bones inside. That would be where this. Yeah. Don't think we have enough hand covers. What do we do? Nice short one. There we go, a couple of hole-in-ones, and these should be like trigger fingers. Oh no, I'm good. Good. Just freaking hallucinating. And Donzo. Oh no, hold on. There we go. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of hands. Some usual fisting, karate chops, somewhat dynamic, semi-open, like sort of finger blah 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 thing. Then a couple of regular hold-on hands, like 90-degree angle, and slightly about 90-degree butt with the triggers, trigger fingers. Let's see if we can get rid of those stress marks, maybe a little bit better. I know it won't be visible on the final result, but it will drive me a bit crazy. Now that's clear. Let's see what's happening. There we go. There we go. Oh, that's a gate mark right on the most visible part. Although it's not too bad. All right, let's put these hands on the kit. Maybe can sort of swing it up. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that's a very tight joint on the elbow. Holy. I'm just gonna need some force. I don't think I'm gonna insert it all the way, so that later on I can do the decals. Just almost all the way, just not quite. There we go. Oh, this thruster is actually articulated, and this handle, which is expected. I think there's going to be some accessory attachments here. Clearly looks like an attachment point. Boom. He's very heavy-handed. Like, these hands look like mallets. See if we can put him in a firing pose just a little bit. Let's turn this way instead. He's very sturdy. This inner frame is like making sure it stays freaking composed. Oh, interesting. It actually can turn at the lower. So this is not waist, this is just the lower torso. I didn't realize the lower torso can turn its own. That's dope. I'm a bit worried about the plastic bag that's gonna have to hold it. Because I think it can bend forward, but it's really like tight action. I hope that this plastic bag is up to the task. Let's see if we can give him a little bit of a punching pose. Oh, the battery died. And back in action. Alright, so I want... Is this better 5 point? Yes. Okay. I can probably open this gun. Boom. Then I can open this hatch. Come on, there we go. Maybe not that much. Then I can open this hatch. Pry it a bit like that. This one opens as well, like that. This one opens too. Actually, I keep it closed, we can open it on this side. Come on, there we go. Then, how do I open? Oh, there we go, like that. Then we can open this. And slide it up. Gonna keep the cockpit closed. Oh crap! Fat fingers. Oh, it just doesn't want to open all the way. Okay. Can open this a little bit like that. Smooch. Let's raise the handle. He's a mean looking dude. Here we're gonna have a fist. Hold on. Oh, and you just articulate the hand, it pops up. That's cool, man. It's really cool. Although it means I cannot really flick the rest without activating the gun. Whatever. It's a minor trade-off. Boom! Dude, I'm really loving this kit. Check it out, boys. Check this bad boy out. Let's see if we can maybe zoom in just a little bit. Where's the camera? Isn't he mean fella? Really cool. I mean, mean in a good way. I really dig the design. I mean, modern nuclear is like Christmas came early with this one. Best for me. So I really like these mechanical designs, obviously. But these halo vibes in the visor, the Jaeger vibes overall, really detailed. I mean, the amount of hatches, I did not expect this to be so intricate. I actually didn't even open all of them. Like, oh. There we go. right? It's completely different from any other motornuclear kit, for good or for worse. I mean, it's up to you. I personally like mechanical designs very, very much, so this is exactly my cup of tea. But I mean, it's awesome. Like on the hands, if you flick the wrist, this gun opens up. Like, look at this. Boom, closed. Boom, open. Boom, closed. Boom, open. Freaking awesome. Let me try to fix the focus so you guys can actually see better what the hell I'm talking about. So on the wrist right here, boom, closed, boom, open, boom, closed, boom, open. That's cool, man. Like, it's a minor thing, but it's cool. Then we have this open hatch here, which is like whatever hatch, but they bothered going through like extra molded detail here and one single silver part just to give it a little bit more mechanical detail. Then under the forearm, you have this underslung sort of cannon, and it sort of imitates here like gun barrel, like, you know, the cooling chamber. And this is a silver part, like bluish silver. Then you have the saber holder on the inside, which is just like straight up opening hatch. It's not really connected to anything. But even on this hatch, they went the extra mile. To create a little knob in here. Like there is a tiny knob in here. So when you close this hatch, it actually locks in. So you don't have a problem with regards to like joint getting loose. It won't like swing out on its own, or, you know, maybe not lock in all the way. Like, cool. Like that's sort of attention to detail that, you know, it's not that modern nuclear doesn't usually have attention to detail, but it's just cool to see it here. Then as you go up to the shoulders, there's really nothing special in the bicep by the looks of it. It's just smartly layered metal inner frame, gray imitation of the inner frame, and then a couple of shades of armor. Shoulders are actually quite unique because they are not like bulky, massive shoulders, which are sort of typical of modern nuclear, right? So like they usually would have like super duper crazy overbuilt shoulders, right? But instead here they went super modest, I guess, but at the same time super detailed. Like, I mean, in this very like grunt like looking thing, like on the outer side it looks very grunty, but as soon as you lift the armor, you see like molded detail, layered inner frame, because you have this single piece of plated plastic here. Just gives it so much more pizzazz, I guess. Then on the thruster outside here, they actually I find it very funny, because usually on any model kit other than this that I've built in the past, they would have just the gray plastic part here, but this is actually plated gunmetal part, which I would have painted with gunmetal anyway with my gallery markers or something like that. So phenomenal, like attention to detail. Then this handle is sort of like cool detail, but at the same time it gives you grunt vibes again. So it's like for it to be lifted by a crane or something and, you know, like deployed, or a chopper. The top of the shoulder looks super duper cool, like piston mechanical design motion there. Then obviously the main body is just crazy. And this opening hatch, this is straight up like Gypsy Danger vibes. Like this is supposed to be like a nuclear reactor or something. Then these cannons on the side, like rail cannons or some sort of like magnetic cannon, really cool stuff. These underline hatches, I did not expect them to open at all, and they aren't. There's actually a layered inner frame there. So it gives it extra, you know, detail, extra pizzazz. Then if you go to the back, I mean, the backpack is really, really, really cool, because it's like an encapsulated pilot cockpit. This gives me actually, it's not really like Matrix, like the final Matrix film where they had where they had those mechs that they were in, but it's sort of like the same practical design. Like you have a super duper protected pilot's hatch at the back, and the mechanism that opens it is just bonkers. So like you open this little hatch here, It's on double joint there actually, so it stays up. And then you just slide it out, and boom. There's a little pilot in there, and it's really smooth, cool looking motion that opens it up. I mean, just nuts. Then you close it up here. The pilot is there. Then you have this, like, I think these are like battery terminals, or like, you know, chargers or whatever, like battery cells at the back. So this reminds me of Titanfall. Is that the video? Yeah, name of the game. Titanfall. Yeah, the pilot, I mean, I would imagine the pilot is not little per se, but I think this mech is supposed to be like, indeed, Grunt-sized mech, like it's a smaller scale mech actually. Like if you know Warhammer or something like that, it would be like a knight rather than a Titan, something like that. At least that's the way I think about it. So, I mean, the pilot cockpit is done really cool. This thing is done, like, I mean, these battery or whatever terminals, they have this lift mechanism, which is totally unnecessary, but absolutely insane. I love stuff like that. Once again, there is more molded detail in the inner frame that makes it look like, on the outside, this does not look super fancy. Just looks like, okay, there's like whatever hatches. But then when you open this part, for example, it has more detail on the inside than it has on the outside. And then you boom, it lifts up, and it freaking insane. And then the lower torso is also done like super pragmatically. Like you can see sort of nothing fancy here. Like it's a bulky upper torso. Like this is the business side. This is supposed to be functional. Yet this part actually turns. Like I did not expect to have a turn here. I don't remember many kits that do this. Usually you turn at the waist, at the peg, but this actually turns here. Now I would imagine it also bends, but I just don't have enough leverage to actually make it bend. I need to assemble the waist. Pretty cool, man. I'm really digging this. And if you don't like, for some reason, Halo Master Chief head, you have this head, which is, in my opinion, is a bit generic. I mean, it's just, it gives me Transformers vibes. But it has a cooler looking mohawk here, like it's silver mohawk. I wonder if I can fit that there. I'll have to try. Yeah. This one is a bit more generic. It's pretty cool, but one downside, though, I noticed when I was working on the LEDs this week, and also when I was assembling the head unit in the torso, is that out of the box, they give you the eye parts. This is the eye part that's supposed to go here if you don't have the LED. And the eye parts there, they are technically transparent plastic parts, but they are painted on one side. And they do not give you alternate parts that are not painted on one side. Which means that if you want to install their own LEDs, because they recommend, the head unit has enough space for like LED unit, which does not come with a kit, but nonetheless, if you somehow get that, the only way for you to sort of leverage is by removing this part. Well, otherwise they could have added alternate sets of parts that are not painted on one side, and if you were to use an LED, then it would have been, it would have looked arguably better, different, but better. So yeah, really cool. I don't know, I'm loving this kit. Like, I did not expect to love this so much. I did not expect this from motornuclear. Freaking dope. I'm also glad that I took a week to customize it with a bunch of LEDs. I personally have never worked with LEDs this tiny. These are new types of LEDs that I'm experimenting with. These are 0402 LEDs. They have extremely thin wires that I broke a bunch of times. Like you can see, one of them is actually repaired here. But if you look at it from a proper angle, like I want you to, it actually looks dope. Like these are lit up, the center core is lit up, this one is different colors, yellow, while these are orange. And then obviously the terminals at the back are lit up as well. I decided not to light up the cockpit because it's kind of pointless. I'm never gonna probably pose it with the cockpit open. Freaking love it, man. Absolutely love it. Big W already on motornuclear. I'm not sure if they're ever gonna make more of these, but if they do, well, you know what, let's reserve judgment when we're done with this. For now, having built a portion of it, I'm very pleasantly surprised. Even though my previous motornuclear kits were really nice, positive experiences, this somehow doubles that. Oh yeah, and this metal, I mean the joint on the elbow, I forgot to mention that, I think, is really well done as well. So the elbows are double jointed. Am I still in focus? Yeah, I am. You can, when you extend the hand, look at this. So this is like a, I don't know, at first I thought this was a dagger, but actually this is like a square tube-ish joint. So when you extend it, boom, this joint slides out. The elbow is like another, you know, attack thing, weapon. And then the joint there actually extends further and you get way over 90-degree bend. Freaking insane, man. Like, really good design by motornuclear. Something like that's not really their area, right? They do fantasy, sci-fi sort of kits, well, fantasy. And boom, with this design, this easily like stands easily next to, you know, your eras and stuff like that. Maybe my opinion will change as I go through this more, but for now I'm very, very, very pleasantly surprised with this kit. So yeah, stay tuned for more updates on this. Okay, before we wrap it up, let's check the chat, because I think I missed a bunch of messages as I was rumbling. Total Master Chief vibes. Hell yeah, I agree, especially here. But then once again, so the quick experiment. If I turn off the lights, make it dark, it sort of turns into Pacific Rim vibes all of a sudden. Like, especially with this light, like neon purple on the right and orangey on the left. It gives like Pacific Rim vibes all of a sudden. Like, come on, you gotta admit that. It does. Right? Let me light it up. But yeah, Halo very strong, especially on the head unit and when like fully lit up. And the color scheme, like, I mean, this is Master Chief color for sure. Those little touches really take things to the next level, for sure. And they're like really well placed, these little touches. There are not many of them. They're not as crazy as, let's say, Nemesis or Sky Defender or Fenrir, but there is enough of them and they're placed well enough to where it kind of punches way above its, I don't know, way above my expectations, let's put it that way. They need to make more military design kits. I love it. For sure. Yeah. If it's a new area for motornuclear, I would love to see what they come up with next. Level begins Monday. Hell yeah, dude. It's a hell of a build. You will enjoy it very much. I'm gonna have to... A little pilot. But, you know, he's doing his best. But yeah, like, I mean, for the scale, this is not 144. I don't know, it's hard. If this is like 1.80 meters height, I don't know, this are like pretty small mechs. Like, I'm getting Warhammer Knight vibes in terms of scale, maybe even smaller. To most others as the pilot. Yes, for sure. Usually, like with Bandai, we get, well, with most others, we get different scale pilots. They will be half the size, half the height of this fella. But I'll definitely also work on these pilots with my speed paint, army painter markers. We'll try to make him look really pretty. Or her, I don't know. Him, her, him. Well, pilot. Stand by for JiHu II. Hell yeah. Been reviewing the same kits lately. He's just faster than me, XD. Well, I think you've done a bunch more kits than I did, dude. I'm just, you know, I pick whatever I like and I kind of rock with them. But yeah, just, you know, going off of vibes, man. Going off of vibes alone, whatever I like, a build. See how the same universe of the game, the sound plan. Yeah, I agree with you. This seems to be a non-typical design for modern nuclear. I mean, you would know more because though you build a lot more modern nuclears. My acquaintance with them is rather surface level. This is more my jam. So if they make more kits of this nature, I will definitely be looking at the modern nuclear. I don't think I'll be reviewing their other kits, even though they are super duper cool. It's just not really my cup of tea. I'm more into mechanical stuff. But that's for now. I love this kit, right? I'm sucker for the pointy. Yeah, pointy, you know, dragon designs, stuff like that. Yeah, to each their own, man. So yeah, I think that is going to be... Oh, as you can see, we're fixed. Before I sign off, look at this. Barbarian is all fixed. Once again, if you guys have never seen Dungeon Soup on YouTube, and if you like, you know, original animation, highly recommend. Dungeon Soup freaking rocks. Really fun stuff. So yeah, very nice hanging out with you all today. That is going to be it for me. I hope you all have a great rest of the weekend. I'm gonna have to pick up my pace with this fella because there's a lot more that I want to build now that the weather is good outside in Toronto, and I really want to do some really cool builds this summer that I will top coat and, you know, all that good jazz. So we need to do this fella rather quick. And I've been procrastinating. Well, I mean, I've been just kind of getting into it too much with the LEDs. So yeah. Very nice hanging out. Hot in here in Missouri. Well, good for you, man. And for us in Toronto, it's hot for maybe like, you know, hot enough, I guess, for 3 months a year. And even then it rains frequently, so you have to catch the opportunity by you know what. So the weather is already kind of in the area where I should have a chance to top coat somewhat frequently. So I need to use that opportunity while it's still there, because come September, it's already freaking unpredictable stuff. Anyhow, once again, very nice hanging out with you all. I hope that you have a super duper great rest of the weekend. And I'll see you next time. Later.